The protein you ate for breakfast this morning could be slowly killing your kidneys, and you have no idea it's happening. Right now, as you're watching this, millions of people are making what they think are healthy protein choices, completely unaware that every bite is pushing their kidneys closer to failure. I've been treating kidney patients for over 15 years, and I can't tell you how many times I've walked into an exam room to find someone staring at their lab results in complete shock. "But doctor," they say, "I've been eating so healthy. I switched to turkey bacon. I drink protein shakes. I eat lots of beans. How can my kidneys be getting worse?" That conversation breaks my heart every single time because these people are doing everything they think is right. They're following advice they found online, recommendations from well-meaning friends, even suggestions from healthcare providers who don't specialize in kidney disease. And yet, their creatinine keeps climbing, their GFR keeps dropping, and dialysis keeps getting closer. Here's what nobody wants to admit. The protein industry has been lying to you, not intentionally perhaps, but the blanket advice to eat more protein or choose lean protein completely ignores the reality that your kidneys change as you age. The same protein that built your muscles at 30 could be destroying your kidneys at 60, and most people never make the connection until it's too late. But here's the good news, and I want you to really hear this. You're not powerless. You're not doomed to kidney failure just because you've been eating the wrong proteins for years. Your kidneys are remarkably resilient organs that can stabilize and even improve their function when you give them the right support. I'm about to share something that could literally save your life. 4 specific proteins that actually heal your kidneys while they nourish your body, and 6 seemingly healthy proteins that are secretly destroying your kidney function right now. This isn't theory or guesswork. This is based on real patient outcomes, real lab improvements, and real people who turned their kidney health around by making these exact changes. But first, let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was 68, a retired teacher who prided herself on eating healthy. She had her morning protein shake, her turkey sandwich for lunch, her quinoa bowl for dinner. She was doing everything the wellness blogs told her to do. But when her routine physical showed a creatinine level of 2.1, her world turned upside down. "I don't understand," she told me through tears. "I've been so careful about my diet. I thought I was preventing kidney disease, not causing it." That's when I realized that Sarah, like so many others, had been following generic health advice that completely ignored her kidney-specific needs. We made 4 simple protein swaps in Sarah's diet. Nothing dramatic, nothing that required her to give up foods she loved or cook complicated meals. Just 4 strategic changes based on how proteins actually behave inside aging kidneys. 6 months later, Sarah's creatinine had dropped to 1.6. Her energy was back, the swelling in her ankles was gone, and for the first time in years, she felt like herself again. "I can't believe something so simple made such a huge difference," she said. But that's the thing about kidney health. Sometimes the most powerful changes are the simplest ones. Now, I want to be completely honest with you about something. Everything I'm about to share goes against a lot of mainstream nutrition advice. You might hear things that contradict what your trainer told you, what your dietitian suggested, or what you read in that popular health magazine. That's because most nutrition advice is written for people with healthy kidneys, not for the millions of us whose kidneys are already under stress. So, if you're ready to stop guessing about whether your protein choices are helping or hurting you, if you're tired of watching your kidney numbers get worse despite eating healthy, and if you want to take control of your kidney health starting today, then stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what you're about to learn could be the difference between staying independent and needing dialysis. Let's start with the protein that shocked me the most when I first discovered its kidney healing powers. It's sitting in your refrigerator right now, costs less than $1, and most people throw half of it away without thinking twice. I'm talking about egg whites, and I need you to forget everything you think you know about this humble protein. Most people see egg whites as boring, flavorless, something bodybuilders choke down for muscle building. But when I show you what egg whites can do for struggling kidneys, you'll never look at them the same way again. Here's what makes egg whites absolutely extraordinary for kidney health. They're the only protein source with a biological value of 100. That means your body can absorb and use virtually every gram without creating waste products that your kidneys have to filter out. Think about that for a moment. Most proteins create metabolic waste that forces your kidneys to work harder. Egg whites actually give your kidneys a break. But here's the part that really gets me excited. Egg whites contain only 10 milligrams of phosphorus per white. Compare that to a whole egg with over 80 milligrams, or a piece of chicken with 200 plus milligrams, and you start to understand why this matters so much. When your kidneys can't clear phosphorus efficiently, it builds up in your blood, pulling calcium from your bones and calcifying your arteries. It's a silent killer that most people never see coming. I learned about the power of egg whites from one of my patients, actually. Maria was a 63-year-old grandmother whose phosphorus levels kept climbing despite cutting back on dairy and meat. She was frustrated, scared, and running out of protein options that didn't spike her numbers. "Doctor," she said, "I'm down to eating practically nothing, and my phosphorus is still too high. What am I supposed to do?" That's when I suggested she try something radical. Replace her morning scrambled eggs with just the whites. 3 months later, Maria's phosphorus had dropped into the normal range for the first time in over a year. But more importantly, she told me something that I'll never forget. "I feel light again, not just in my body, but in my spirit. I'm not afraid of my food anymore." That's what the right protein choice can do. It doesn't just change your lab numbers, it changes how you feel about your future. Now, here's how to use egg whites strategically for maximum kidney benefit. Start with 3 to 4 whites in the morning, either soft scrambled with a tiny bit of olive oil or hard-boiled if you prefer. The key is gentle cooking, never high-heat frying that creates harmful compounds your kidneys have to process. You can add them to soups for extra protein, blend them into smoothies for creaminess without the phosphorus load, or even bake them into a light frittata with kidney-safe vegetables. The versatility is endless, but the kidney protection is consistent. But what if I told you there's a plant-based protein that actually fights inflammation while it feeds your muscles? A protein so gentle on your kidneys that it can help reverse damage instead of causing more. Most people dismiss it as bland or boring, but when you understand what it's really doing inside your body, you'll see it as nothing short of miraculous. I'm talking about tofu, and I need to address the elephant in the room right away. "But doctor, patients say to me all the time, 'Isn't soy bad for you? Doesn't it mess with your hormones?' Let me put those fears to rest with some hard science. The research on soy and kidney health is overwhelmingly positive. Unlike animal proteins that increase kidney filtration pressure and create acid that your kidneys have to neutralize, soy protein actually reduces the workload on your kidneys while providing complete nutrition. Here's what happens when you eat animal protein versus soy protein. Animal protein triggers something called hyperfiltration, where your kidneys work harder than they should to process the metabolic waste. Over time, this extra pressure damages the tiny filters in your kidneys called glomeruli. Once those are damaged, they never fully recover. Soy protein, on the other hand, doesn't trigger this hyperfiltration response. Your kidneys can process it efficiently without the extra strain. Plus, soy contains natural compounds called isoflavones that actually reduce inflammation in kidney tissues. It's kind of like getting protein that comes with its own healing medicine built right in. I saw this firsthand with a patient named Robert, a 59-year-old construction worker who was facing early retirement because his kidney function was declining rapidly. His nephrologist had told him to reduce his protein intake, but Robert was losing muscle mass and feeling weaker every day. "I can't live like this," he told me. "I'm wasting away, but if I eat more protein, my kidneys get worse." What kind of choice is that? That's when I introduced him to tofu, along with a meal plan that showed him how to prepare it in ways that actually tasted good. 6 months later, Robert's kidney function had stabilized for the first time in 2 years. His muscle mass was back, his energy had returned, and he was able to keep working. "I never thought something as simple as changing my protein source could give me my life back," he said. The key with tofu is preparation and mindset. If you approach it thinking it's supposed to taste like meat, you'll be disappointed. But if you think of it as a canvas for flavors, a way to absorb the tastes you love while protecting your kidneys, it becomes something entirely different. Try marinating cubed firm tofu in low-sodium soy sauce with ginger and garlic, then baking it until golden. Or blend silken tofu into smoothies for creaminess that rivals any dairy product. The goal isn't to replace meat exactly, it's to find delicious ways to get complete protein without the kidney stress. Now, what if you're not ready to give up animal protein entirely? What if you want something that feels familiar, tastes satisfying, but still protects your kidneys? There's one fish that delivers everything you're looking for, and it might surprise you because it's not the expensive, trendy option most people think of. Tilapia gets a bad rap in some health circles, but for kidney patients, it's actually one of the safest and most beneficial proteins you can choose. Here's why this mild white fish is so special for kidney health. First, tilapia is incredibly low in phosphorus compared to other animal proteins. While a serving of chicken might have 250 milligrams of phosphorus, the same amount of tilapia has only about 170 milligrams. That difference might not sound like much, but when you're trying to keep your phosphorus levels stable, every milligram counts. Second, tilapia is one of the easiest proteins for your body to digest and process. It doesn't sit heavily in your stomach, it doesn't create a lot of metabolic waste, and it doesn't trigger the inflammatory response that some other fish can cause. But here's what really makes tilapia special. It contains selenium and B vitamins that actually support kidney function. Selenium is a powerful antioxidant that protects kidney cells from the oxidative stress that drives disease progression. The B vitamins support energy, metabolism, and help prevent the fatigue that often comes with kidney problems. I remember a patient named Helen. She was a 71-year-old artist who absolutely loved her weekly salmon dinners. But, salmon is quite high in phosphorus, and Helen's levels were starting to creep up. When I suggested she try tilapia instead, she was, a bit skeptical. She asked me, "Won't it be bland and boring?" But after I showed her how to bake it with lemon herbs and just a drizzle of olive oil, she discovered that tilapia's mild flavor was actually a benefit. She told me later, "It takes on whatever flavors I add, and I feel so much lighter after eating it." 3 months after making the switch, Helen's phosphorus levels were back in the normal range, and honestly, she had more energy for her art than she'd had in years. The key with tilapia, really, is to keep the preparation simple and kidney-friendly. You can bake it, steam it, or grill it gently, whatever you prefer. Just be sure to avoid heavy sauces that add sodium or phosphorus. Let the natural flavor shine through with some herbs, a bit of lemon, and a touch of olive oil. But what if you want a protein that's not just kidney safe, but actually helps your digestive system eliminate toxins more efficiently? What if there was a grain that provided complete protein while supporting the elimination pathways that take pressure off your kidneys? Enter quinoa, the ancient seed that's quietly revolutionizing how we think about plant-based protein for kidney health. Quinoa isn't just another grain. It's a complete protein source that contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs, plus fiber that helps eliminate waste through your digestive system instead of forcing everything through your kidneys. Here's why that fiber component is so crucial for kidney patients. When your digestive system is working efficiently, it can eliminate many toxins and waste products through bowel movements, instead of sending them to your kidneys for filtration. It's like having a second filtration system that takes some of the burden off your primary filters. Plus, quinoa is naturally low in both potassium and phosphorus, making it safe for people at all stages of kidney disease. You get complete nutrition without the mineral overload that can cause dangerous complications. I learned about quinoa's power from a patient named David, a 66-year-old vegetarian whose kidney function was declining despite what seemed like a healthy plant-based diet. The problem was that he was relying heavily on beans and lentils, which are very high in potassium and phosphorus. When we replaced his beans with quinoa-based meals, the change was remarkable. His mineral levels stabilized, his energy improved, and his kidney function stopped declining for the first time in 3 years. "It's amazing," he told me. "I'm getting better nutrition with less kidney stress. I wish I had known about this years ago." The key with quinoa is proper preparation. Always rinse it thoroughly before cooking to remove the natural bitter compounds. Cook it in low-sodium vegetable broth for extra flavor, and pair it with kidney-safe vegetables for complete meals that satisfy both your taste buds and your nutritional needs. Now, here's where things get serious. Because while the right proteins can heal and protect your kidneys, the wrong ones can accelerate damage in ways that most people never realize until it's too late. I'm about to show you 6 proteins that are marketed as healthy, but are actually kidney killers in disguise. Let's start with the biggest imposter of them all, turkey bacon. This product makes me angry because it's specifically marketed to health-conscious people who are trying to make better choices. They see turkey and lean on the package and think they're doing something good for their body. But turkey bacon is one of the most kidney-toxic foods you can put in your mouth. A single strip contains over 500 milligrams of sodium, plus phosphate additives that spike your phosphorus levels rapidly. The combination is absolutely devastating for anyone with kidney concerns. I had a patient named Carol who switched to turkey bacon thinking she was being healthier. Within 6 months, her blood pressure was out of control, her phosphorus levels were dangerously high, and she was retaining so much fluid that she could barely walk to her mailbox. "I don't understand," she said. "I thought turkey was supposed to be healthy." That's when I explained that processed turkey products bear no resemblance to actual turkey meat. They're chemical cocktails designed for shelf stability, not human health. Within 2 weeks of eliminating turkey bacon from Carol's diet, her swelling started to go down. Within a month, her blood pressure was manageable again. Within 3 months, her phosphorus levels were back in the safe range. And that's gas choice. The lesson here is clear. Don't let marketing fool you into thinking processed foods are healthy just because they're made from traditionally healthy ingredients. Next, let's talk about red lentils, the plant-based protein that health blogs love to recommend, but that can be absolutely disastrous for kidney patients. Don't get me wrong, lentils are nutritious foods for people with healthy kidneys. But if your kidneys are already struggling, lentils can push you over the edge. 1 cup of cooked red lentils contains over 700 milligrams of potassium and 350 milligrams of phosphorus. For someone whose kidneys can't efficiently clear these minerals, that's a recipe for dangerous complications, including heart rhythm problems and accelerated bone loss. I treated a patient named Michael who was following a plant-based diet for his health. He was eating lentil soup almost daily, thinking he was making the healthiest possible choice, but his potassium levels kept climbing to dangerous ranges, and he was developing muscle weakness and fatigue. When we identified the lentils as the culprit and replaced them with quinoa and tofu, his mineral levels stabilized within weeks, and his symptoms completely resolved. The takeaway isn't that plant-based eating is bad for kidneys. It's that you have to choose your plant proteins just as carefully as any other food when you have kidney concerns. Now let me tell you about hot dogs and why they represent everything that's wrong with the processed food industry. Hot dogs aren't food. They're chemical experiments wrapped in plastic. They contain sodium nitrates, phosphate preservatives, and oxidized fats that create a perfect storm of kidney damage. Every bite floods your system with compounds that trigger inflammation, spike blood pressure, and damage the cellular structures your kidneys need to function. I've seen patients whose kidney function declined rapidly after increasing their hot dog consumption, not realizing the connection until it was almost too late. If you're eating hot dogs regularly and wondering why your kidney numbers keep getting worse, this could be your answer. Eliminate them completely and watch what happens to your labs over the next few months. Whey protein isolate is, honestly, another kidney killer hiding behind what looks like a healthy facade. The fitness industry, has convinced millions of people that protein powder is absolutely essential for health and muscle building. But for kidney patients, concentrated protein powders can be absolutely devastating. Unlike whole food proteins that come with fiber, antioxidants, and, other compounds that help your body process them safely, whey isolate delivers a massive protein load with no support system. Your kidneys have to work overtime to clear the nitrogen waste, often pushing creatinine levels higher and, unfortunately, accelerating kidney decline. I've had multiple patients whose kidney function actually improved dramatically simply by replacing their daily protein shake with whole food proteins like egg whites and tofu. The difference can be, honestly, pretty remarkable when you stop overwhelming your kidneys with concentrated protein loads. Even canned black beans, which might seem like a healthy plant-based choice, can be problematic for kidney patients. The high potassium and sodium content, even after rinsing, can disrupt mineral balance and cause some dangerous complications. And finally, let's talk about steak, the ultimate symbol of strength that's actually a symbol of kidney destruction for anyone with compromised kidney function. The high phosphorus content, the acid load, the inflammatory compounds, all combine to accelerate kidney damage with every bite. I'm not saying you can never eat steak again, but if you're eating it regularly while trying to protect your kidneys, you're working against yourself in a major way. But here's something that can help offset some of the damage from years of eating the wrong proteins. A simple morning walk. Just 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement after you wake up can improve circulation to your kidneys, help regulate blood pressure and blood sugar, and support the natural detoxification processes that keep your kidneys healthy. I've seen patients add morning walks to their routine and report feeling more energetic, having less swelling, and even seeing improvements in their lab numbers. It's not a cure, but it's a powerful tool that works synergistically with smart protein choices. Look, I know this is a lot of information, and some of it might contradict things you've heard before, but here's what I want you to remember. Your kidneys are not doomed to fail just because you've been eating the wrong proteins. They're remarkably resilient organs that can stabilize and even improve when you give them the right support. Start with one change. Maybe it's switching your morning eggs to egg whites. Maybe it's trying tofu in a stir-fry this week. Maybe it's taking a 20-minute walk tomorrow morning. Whatever feels manageable, start there. Because every kidney-friendly choice you make is an investment in your future self, in your independence, and in the quality of life you'll enjoy for years to come. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than you were yesterday. Your kidneys have been working for you since birth. Now it's time to work with them.